In this video, I'm going to help you understand how to achieve the perfect angle for your lineups every single time. No guessing, no gatekeeping, just knowing exactly where to connect your lines. I'm also going to give my secret on how to get rid of this pesky weight line that a lot of barbers struggle with. I know I struggled with it when I first started cutting hair, and I'm going to simplify it so that you understand it with just one watch of this video. I do this because I genuinely want to help the next generation. I know exactly what it's like to go on YouTube still not knowing really how to cut hair or not being able to afford school. If you want to support me in any way, please consider subscribing and check out my apparel, Next Gen Barber. I made this hat specifically because it's very subtle and you can wear it with any outfit because it's black. I also have these content capes, and I call them content capes because black capes are the best for content creation because it's very subtle and it helps the viewer focus on the haircut, not on the colorful cape. The link is in the description. Every single sale will get the same exact combs that I'm using, which are my personal favorite combs, absolutely free. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This line right here, you see how it's going outwards, right? This line has to be going inwards, coming into the end of his eyebrow. So the last barber, he pushed that line up way too far back. So you guys can see it's like this. It should be somewhere over here. So now if we look at his lineup, it looks like it's like a trapezoid. And that's what I'm always telling you guys you need to avoid. He likes the high taper either way, so we're gonna have to bald them out all the way up here. Usually we bald them down here straight, but we're gonna have to bald them all the way up here because all of this is messed up. First step, this is usually where we bald them out, like this, but we're not gonna bald them out like that because we gotta go a little bit higher. So we're gonna go a tiny bit higher, give it a little rainbow, tiny little rainbow shape. Boom. Now the next step is going to be to debulk all of this because now we know where our fade or taper is going to start. Now we got to figure out where it's going to finish. So this is the 2 guard all the way open, and we're going to give ourselves enough room to blend. We're going to cut all of this. All of this is going to be gone. And keep in mind, we're maintaining a flicking out motion even up here at the top so that it can blend to his curls at the top of his head. We're gonna keep combing it down just to make sure that we're getting all the hairs. You see how it doesn't look even here, but it looks even here. So now I know when I come back, I'm gonna give this side a little bit more attention. If I didn't comb the hair, I wouldn't be able to see that. I'd just be guessing. So I'm gonna keep continuing to comb the hair just to make sure that every hair is cut evenly. Right here it looks good, right here it doesn't, and right here it doesn't. So I'm gonna skip this and I'm gonna focus on here and here only. And in order for me to make it look like this, I have to cut hair. So I need to see some hair flying. If I don't see some hair flying, that means I'm just wasting time. And as I always say in all my videos, if something doesn't look right, you have to cut it. So don't be scared to cut it. All right, we're not gonna spend too much time on it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The very next step is we're going to do the half guard. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, his line is supposed to be here. That's how his line is supposed to be, going to the top of the lineup, to the end of the forehead. I mean, to the end of the forehead, to the end of the eyebrow. But it's not doing that. It's going like this. So I'm going to put my half line all the way up here, like this, because we need to blend this line out to these hairs that are barely growing. Now lever halfway open, and now lever all the way closed. The very next step is going to be the 1.5 guard all the way open, and we're not going to go any higher than this right here. We're going to go right underneath it, but we're going to flick out up to the top, kind of like if we're scooping that line gently to the top, but there is no line. With this method, there is no lines. That is the beauty of blending down. You're skipping making a line, erasing it, making a line, erasing it. You're straight going right into blending, and that's gonna save you a lot of time. Cool, so we passed the 1.5 guard. Now our last guard is going to be the 0.5 guard. All the guards that we've used, the 3 guard, the 1.5, I'm sorry, we used the 2 guard. The first one was the 2 guard. The 2 guard, the 1.5 guard, and the 0.5 guard, they've all been with the lever open. This is with the lever open as well. The hairs are getting smaller and smaller, so we might be going into brush territory, which means instead of using a comb, we're gonna use a brush. That's all that means. And this guard, we're doing the same exact thing. We're still flicking out. So you see how like my clipper's going all the way up here? We are still flicking out. That's not ever gonna change. We flick out with every single clipper that touches our hand. Our shaver, our trimmer, every single clipper gets a flicking out motion. Now with the lever all the way close to fully get rid of this line. And we're almost done with this blend. I'm gonna grab my brush now and I'm just gonna detail it. Right now it's not looking like anything special. It's actually looking really bad right now, if I'm being honest. But that's okay because we did our steps, and like I said in my other videos, not every single step is gonna go the same way, the way you want it to in the first go. Now that we're done with all our steps, we have so much more time to detail. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detail this haircut. I'm gonna go back with my 1.5 guard because I feel like this area has to be lighter. I'm gonna close the lever now. I mainly only close the levers with my guards when it's time to detail. And some haircuts require more details than others. This one specifically is requiring a lot more detail than any other haircut I've done. And that's because this area is throwing away the whole haircut. Like, it's basically a whole nother haircut. Like right now, what I'm doing is I'm blending this line out because this is throwing it off. It just doesn't look good like that. This area looks too dark, only this area. So I'm gonna go with my 1.5 guard lever close. And I'm only focusing on that area. Everything else looks good. I don't want to touch anything else. Now I'm gonna go back with my 0.5 guard, and this should be the last guard that we use. Cool. Now we just gotta line this up. His last barber did a pretty good job at lining this up. So we're just gonna go over what he did already. We're gonna fully bald him out. We're going to keep this line as natural as possible. The top line was pushed back a little bit. There's absolutely nothing we can do about that. So we're gonna keep bringing it down as much as possible. So this line's not gonna be super sharp. And that is our exact purpose. We do not want it to be super sharp. And his line is supposed to be here. Exactly where my clipper's at, that's where it's supposed to end, right there. But like I said, there's nothing we can do about that. So now, the only way to fix it is, you guessed it, using enhancements. So now I'm grabbing a player card. I'm going to the top. I'm spraying it a little bit. Okay, look up a little bit. And now what his last barber did is he went like this. Just so you guys can get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. His last barber went like this. We do not want that. We want it to connect to the end of the eyebrow. So I'm gonna put my card like this, and I'm gonna spray it. And that is what it should look like. Now, I know a lot of people are probably watching this video right now saying, why do you have to spray him? Why are you spraying him? Listen, for this specific haircut, that is the only way to fix it. Like, there's nothing else we can do. I cannot make hair grow back. He wants his haircut to look nice. That is what we have to do. to make it look nice. Now all I'm gonna do is make sure all these hairs are cut the way I want them to be cut. For example, this area right here, a lot of his hairs right here, they're actually going sideways. They're going to the left. So I'm gonna go with my scissors, and I'm gonna snip away at some of these hairs. You see how the line is connecting to the end of his eyebrow? You see that? That's how it should have been the first time. And if you look a little to the side, the line looks perfectly straight, and that's how it should be. The back we're gonna do ever so quickly. He's my client. I was busy last week, he couldn't come. I know he likes to cover the occipital bone area right here. So I'm not gonna touch any of this because I know he doesn't like it the way he is right now, okay? And look how he's shaking his head. I already know that, like, that's what I know about him. So all I'm gonna do in the back is I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna give him the 0 line at the bottom. And then I'm gonna fade it into what he already has, because there is nothing left for me to do. And he trusts me enough to know that. He would rather me barely blend it into what he already has than me come back here and cut it even more, because he wants to grow this out as soon as possible, and he comes every week. So by the next week when he comes back, it's gonna be already growing out, and I can give him a taper how I usually give him a taper. So this side is gonna be very quick. I'm basically just blending that bottom line out because all of this is already blended. Okay, we're gonna come back and line them up over here. Now on this side, the hairline isn't that bad. It should be over here like this. It's slightly tilted this way, and that slight is very important. That's why I'm always telling you guys, go straight to the end of the eyebrow, make a straight line, okay? Now we're gonna do the same exact steps this time, or this side doesn't really need that much correction though. So we're gonna go straight to the bottom of his lineup. We don't want a C cup, that's why we're going straight to the bottom of the lineup. And then we're gonna give it a little curve, just like that, tiny little bit of a curve, nothing crazy. That's gonna be the beginning of our fade, or the beginning of our taper. Now we gotta find the end of our taper. And the end of our taper, you see his last barber didn't blend that line out, right? So all we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go straight to that bulk line. Actually, before we take that line out, I want you guys to understand what creates that line. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna show you guys that this bulk line is because they didn't follow that shape that I'm talking about all the time. You're gonna see that if I grab my comb, you're gonna see that if I grab my comb and I put it like this, all this bulk right here, you see all this bulk? This is all that weight line. So right now his hair is coming like this, right? That's the shape that we're creating. His hair's going up, 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 and as it gets here, it's starting to come all the way out like this, and that's what's creating this bulk line. The way to fix it is to just create one straight line, like a triangle. That's why I'm always explaining this shape right here. So if I do this right here, this hair is supposed to go up to the comb. It's not supposed to get past the comb. And right now that it's way passing the comb, that's what's creating this nasty weight line. So if I simply do this, I go here, I create that line that I'm always talking about, a straight line like a triangle, and I simply do this without being scared of the result, just understanding that that's how the hair's supposed to look like. And then I come back here, you're gonna see that that line is starting to blend out. You see this area right here? Look at the difference between this area and this area that I haven't cut. So now let me do the same thing with this area. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna create that shape that I'm always talking about. I'm gonna stop my comb right there, and I'm gonna just maul all that, okay? That's all gone. Look, it's starting to blend in more proper, right? Look at this right here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna get rid of all that bulk. We're gonna get rid of all that bulk. And it's all starting to blend in proper. Now, obviously, there's still a little bit of a line that we're gonna fix right now, but that's essentially what creates all the bulk. Same thing right here, right? We're gonna go here, we're gonna create that line, and we're gonna get rid of all of this. And now everything should start blending in more proper. For the rest of the video, it's pretty much the same thing as the other side. I don't want to bore you guys with it. I know some of you guys might be thinking that you're missing out on some information. I promise you, you're not. It's the same thing. Like I said, this haircut was done by another barber, so this side was a lot different than the other side, and that's a common struggle that I see with barbers. I used to do the same thing when I first started cutting hair. It's very important that you guys try to do both sides as symmetrical as possible. That's why this side had that weight line that I explained how to take care of, and the other side didn't have that weight line, and hopefully that helps you guys understand it a little bit more. Now we're gonna line all this up. That was the one good thing the previous barber did, which is good. And now look up a little bit. I always ask my clients to look up. Now I'm just gonna go over this line. Like I said on the other side, you want to keep it as natural as possible, the top one, because it's pushed way too high up. And this line is not as bad as the other line, but it's still a little bad. So we're gonna, instead of going up to like this, we're gonna tilt our clipper like this. So you're gonna see where my clipper ends and where the last barber ended it. And we're gonna stop it right there. Just because we want all those hairs to grow. And now, some people's least favorite part is the enhancements. But like I said, it's necessary with this haircut. Instead of going out here, you see how you can't see his eyebrow? We're gonna tilt it until we see the end of his eyebrow. We're gonna go to the top. We're gonna connect his eyebrow to the top of the lineup. That's how we're gonna do it. And now, boom. We added a little too much enhancements right here, so we're just gonna rub it off. And we're actually gonna go back, make this line a little darker. Okay, that's the final result.